Kim, this isn't the first time that it's been announced that Bukamal has been retaken by the regime. That was on the 10th of November, and just a few days later it was reported that Daesh had recaptured the city. Now, if these reports are confirmed and if this gain by the Syrian army is sustained, and bear in mind that this is just coming from the regime at the moment, then it is significant on a number of levels. First of all, it does mean, as you say, that the territory Daesh has been controlling for the past 3 years or so has significantly shrunk in a relatively short space of time. This is area along many parts of northern Syria and going towards the northeast as well. Certainly it means that they have lost any major cities that they've been holding for the past few years or so. But it's also significant from the Syrian army's perspective. Now, as you mentioned, the regime has been tightening its grip on significant swathes of the country. But in terms of fighting Daesh, it hasn't really played a central role. That has been taken over by the SDF, the Syrian Democratic Forces, which are largely made up of the YPG, the Syrian Turkish group, which Turkey believes is affiliated with the outlawed PKK. Now, the SDF have been backed by the US in the battle against Daesh in parts of northern Syria, for example, Raqqa province. But today's development really is an indication by the Syrian army that it has at least had some hand in the battle against Daesh in its country.
And interesting as well, given the timing ahead of the talks in Sochi, I believe, on November the 22nd. But Shamim, does this mean that Daesh has been completely eliminated from Syria?
Well, if it's confirmed, then in terms of the cities and towns that it controlled, yes, it does still hold a number of smaller villages. But the concern is now that not every Daesh fighter has necessarily been killed or taken into captivity, as these cities, Raqqa and Bukamal and such like, have been captured. We know that there are compelling reports to suggest that many of them have fled into larger parts of Syria, into the interior. And just recently, there have been reports that a corridor was given for some of them to escape, several hundred or so, perhaps even larger in numbers, into the greater Syrian countryside. Now, these reports suggest that the US was aware of this. The Pentagon did release a statement a few days back saying that this was a local issue. But of course, this has some very serious implications. One is that if these Daesh fighters are armed, as it's reported that they are, then it poses even more of a question of security in an already very dangerous country. The other question that it raises is why the YPG would allow Daesh fighters to leave places like Raqqa. Is it to gain territory for themselves, or is their intention to free these areas of Daesh sincere?